Hey guys, how's it going? My name is of course Catmanjo and welcome back to another 7 Days to Die news video on my channel. Today I've got 3 small bits of interesting news regarding 7 Days to Die to talk about, including the winter sale that is currently ongoing, the CERO approval for the Japanese PS5 version of 7 Days to Die, and the likely release for the next big update to the game. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. First, jumping into the news, let's talk about the 7 Days to Die winter sale. So the other day the Fun Pimps tweet out saying, 7 Days Xbox Series X/S versions now with random gen and crossplay are on sale now through January 2nd with 30% off on the Xbox Countdown sale. Then a few days later they made essentially the same tweet, however this time they actually just removed the word Xbox and replaced it with Steam, effectively of course announcing that the game was on sale for 30% off on Steam. And once again after another couple days they made another tweet saying again essentially the same thing, but this time announcing that the game was on sale for 30% off on PS5, with the only difference being that the Xbox and Steam players can get the 30% discount on the game until January 2nd and the PS5 players have until January 6th. So if you've been wanting to pick up this game since version 1.0 was released way back in July, then now is essentially the best time to do so. Not only because of this huge discount, but also because the game now has of course crossplay, making it a better time than ever to pick up the game and actually come play it with your friends. Now moving on to our next bit of news, we have the CERO rating for the long-awaited Japanese PlayStation 5 version of 7 Days to Die finally being approved. So for a little bit of context before we get too deep into this, it was confirmed that just before the launch of the console edition of 7 Days to Die, the new console edition of course, that the game sadly would not be available in 3 countries at launch. These were Taiwan, South Korea and Japan. Now the reason for this in Taiwan and South Korea was simply because the game was being rated and the rating process was a little bit slower than in Western countries, but it was pending, so the game would come out in both these countries, just not at the same time as everywhere else unfortunately. However, in Japan the process to get a game rated was actually entirely different and of course a little bit more difficult as well, and required Fun Pimps to do a little bit more extra work on their end, and naturally this extra work would obviously add on to the time before the game could be released. Then a month after version 1.0 launched, the Fun Pimps released a statement in Japanese which I've gone ahead and translated saying the following: "It seems that many people are concerned about the release of the PlayStation 5 version of 7 Days to Die in Japan, so we would like to keep you updated on the latest developments." Alongside this tweet they also shared a photo going more in depth on what was happening at the time with the Japanese version of the game, saying the following: "Flow until release. The creation of the art for the Japanese PS5 is complete. This took a long time. The introduction of special art is currently being tested/adjusted. This is where we're at now. Compile review materials after implementation is complete. Request for review. Waiting for review results. If the review is passed, the process of launching the product will begin. If not, the process will start over. Unfortunately, without any corrections, it did not pass the review. Unfortunately, without a CERO rating, it cannot be released on the Japanese PlayStation 5 store, the Japanese PlayStation Store. Xbox uses the IARC rating, so it was fine without modification. Please note that since we want to deliver this product in a state as close to the original as possible, it may not pass the first screening. And finally, please rest assured that the release in Japan will not be cancelled." So we learned why the Xbox version of 7 Days to Die managed to somehow slip through the cracks of course and get published without any hiccups, and where the development was for the PS5 Japanese version of the game. However, since that statement was released way back in August, we've heard literally nothing about it. However, that all changed when just a few hours ago the Fun Pimps released a statement saying, "Folks, we passed our CERO rating for the Japanese PlayStation 5 version. However, we still have to get it certified with Sony. Due to the holiday schedule, we anticipate it will be out in January." So with that news and that information, we finally got a rough estimate for not only the release of the Japanese PlayStation 5 version of 7 Days to Die, but also of course the release of version 1.3. Now we know this because back on December 7th, the Fun Pimps shared their winter patch blog post that was talking about the unfortunate delay of version 2.0 and the news that the version 1.2 update would bring some of the 2.0 features early, such as crossplay. However, additionally in the blog post they also did say, in regards to version 1.3 update, "We have made significant progress on the Japanese PlayStation 5 version but expect it to go into certification after the holiday break, and are targeting a release in January 2025 bearing any critical bugs in CERO approval." And now with confirmed CERO approval, it does look like version 1.3 is on target to be released in January, allowing not only the Japanese PlayStation 5 players to finally be able to play 7 Days to Die, but also hopefully bringing some much needed bug fixes and quality of life improvements, and hopefully as well helping the Fun Pimps free up some more space to work on the next major update to the game. And perhaps, you never know, we'll hopefully get to see something else from version 2.0 get released early, such as maybe even some new POIs or even some DLC content, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that is the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did go and enjoy it, please be sure to share it with your friends, drop it a like, and let me know your thoughts on the news I covered today. Also, I'm sure it goes without saying, but please be sure to subscribe and turn the notification bell to stay notified for when I release any other 7 Days to Die news content on my channel. And then guys, thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.